Namaste everyone, welcome to UDAYA'S classroom vlog number 14. In this video, we are going to see the scientific principles of management which was propounded by F.w.Taylor. He was the father of scientific principles of management. If you have any doubts, you can comment in the comment box. I am really happy to clarify your doubts. So far, if you have not subscribed the channel, do subscribe and press the bell button for regular updates. Is Taylor's principle of scientific management, and this scientific management taught by the earliest schools refers to classical school. This classical school mainly refers to 18th century works. So, according to Taylor, what is mean by scientific management? Scientific management means nothing but knowing exactly what you want men to do and seeing that they do it in the best and cheapest way. So this is how the Taylor has explained the scientific management. Knowing exactly what men supposed to do for you and get the work done by them in a cheapest way with the maximum productivity. So what is this aim of principles of PSM means? Principles of scientific management. Everywhere I have mentioned as PSM, principles of scientific management. What is the aim of principles of management? The first aim is to guide the management, to provide guidelines for the management. And why the principles of management has to guide, the management? In order to increase the productivity of the organization. So these are all the main aim of principles of scientific principles of management. Now let us start with the first principle. Actually there are four principles propounded by Taylor. Let us see the first principle. Science, not rule of thumb. According to Taylor, scientific principles are science. It's not rule of thumb, which means the trial and error basis should not take place in the organization. Only one best method should be adopted throughout the organization, that should be found through traditional analysis and through research work, experience and experimentation. So that is what Taylor says. So that standard method should be adopted by the organization. So according to the need, it could be modified, but the standard method should not be changed. That is what he is trying to say in this principle. So scientific principle says it involves scientific method, not rule of thumb, which means scientific principle should be involved. It should not be a rule of thumb. Rule of thumb means trial and error or hit and miss method. We should not take any experimentations. Every time trial and error basis, we should not do it in the organization as how we used to do in the kitchens. Every time we used to change and do something. But in an organization, it involves a huge cost. Management and the organizations are investing the amount in huge. So every time we cannot take trial and error basis. So what will happen if we do trial and error basis, which is a costly affair for the organization? A work is performed without any standardization. Without any standardization, if the organization is doing trial and error basis, it will become very costly affair for the organization. Taylor believed that there was only one best method. This is very important key term in this principle. So Taylor believed that there was only one best method. In an organization, there should be only one best method should be found by the organization. Why it should be found? To maximize efficiency in the organization. How can we find that only one best method? It could be developed through study and analysis. So developed method should substitute rule of thumb. So the method, standard method, whatever we are developing in the organization, it should substitute the trial and error basis method. The standard method, scientific method should be implemented in the organization, that is throughout the organization. Next, principles. Scientific principles of management involves investigation. Lot of investigation work to be done to find out one scientific method. So based on what we can do the investigation through our traditional methods, through work study, unifying the best practices and developing a standard method which would be followed throughout the organization. So each and every traditional method could be analyzed properly, and according to the organization, one best method could be adopted and it could be implemented throughout the organization. Having understood the first scientific principles of management, science not rule of thumb, that is the company, the organization has to find only one best method and the standard method to be followed throughout the organization, right? Following to that, second principle, harmony not discord. Harmony means there should be unity among the management and the workers. They should not have any discord, which means conflict or disagreement. So this management and the workers have to understand they need each other. They should not have any disagreement among them. They should work towards the objective of the organization. So that is what this principle says. So throughout the organization, harmony should be present. There should not be any conflict. So how can we substitute this discord with the harmony? Let us see. SP, scientific principles, maintains harmony between the management and workers in place of discord between them, which means in place of discord, harmony should be replaced. There should not be any conflict. That is the first point. The management and the workers both should realize that they need each other. They need each other. Without management, workers cannot survive. Without workers, management also cannot survive. So both have to understand they need each other. And the next point is, the management should share the gains of the company with the workers, as prosperity of the employer cannot exist for a long time unless it is accompanied by the prosperity of the employees, which means the management should gain the organization profit with meager percentage with the workers also. They cannot concentrate only to grow. The prosperity should be with only management. Management should think the workers also should grow. Their prosperity level also should grow. So with the mutual understanding, the management can survive for a long run. So once the management thinks both the sides prosperity is important, the organization will survive for a longer time. Workers should work hard and be willing to embrace change for the good of the organization, which means the workers also should work hard. How the management could share the profit of the organization? Only then the workers are work hard, really they are striving towards the organization growth, and then out of it, if the organization earning more profit, this point would be possible. So they should be willing to embrace. Embrace means what? Agree to change. So if there is any changes happening in the business environment, if the changes persisting in the organization, Happily, the workers should welcome the change and they have to work towards the change. So change for the good of the organization. Only then the organization will grow. So I can tell you a best example here, classic example, Japanese company. Always this Japanese companies used to follow the paternalistic style of management. Paternalistic style of management means nothing but in Japanese companies, they're all dependent. They used to think like both management and the workers all dependent. Employees will be treated as partners and family members in the organization. In exchange, what the management will expect from the workers in exchange, leader expects loyalty and trust from employees as well as obedience. So the Japanese management treating them as a family member, in return they are expecting the workers' loyalty, trust and their obedience. So this is the classic example for this harmony, not discord. So throughout the organization, harmony should present. There should not be any conflict among the workers and the management. Moving on to the next scientific principle, cooperation, not individualism, which means in an organization, both the management and the employees should have cooperation. They should not have individualism. That is, the management should lend their ears towards the workers, what they are trying to say, and they have to listen for their constructive ideas and they have to accept their ideas for the betterment of the organization. Let us see one by one. Both management and workers should have cooperation, not individualism. And the next point is, management should not close its ears to any constructive suggestions made by the workers. If any employee is willing to give any constructive ideas, the management should lend their ears towards the workers. They should be rewarded for their suggestions which result in substantial reduction in time and cost. Because of this employees' suggestions, if the management has got some cost reduction and time reduction following the employees' idea, the employees could be rewarded for the betterment. Definitely any person, if you take without award or reward, they cannot work further. It will be a good encouragement for the people to work towards the next thing. And the next point is, this principle further suggests workers should be part of the management. And if any important decisions are to be made, they should be taken into confidence doing something, which means related to organization, any important decision to be taken, the management can consider the workers also. Their suggestions also can be asked. And the next point is, at the same time, workers should desist from going on strike and making unreasonable demands. So taking as advantage of the previous points, the workers also should not engage in involving in strike or demanding too much from the management. They should stop doing it. Desist means stop. So the workers should not involve in those activities. And the next point is equal division of work and responsibilities between workers and management, and both should work side by side. So equally the work and the responsibility should be shared among the employees and the management. So parallelly the management as well as the employees should work towards the organizational goal. So side by side the work should take place. So these points more or less will be the extension of the second principle. Move on to the last principles of scientific management, that is development of each and every person who are all working in the organization. So why the development of each and every person is required in the organization? In order to get the fullest potential of the employee, to reach their fullest potential and prosper. Potential means capability. Employee would be capable of doing more works. We would have not received his fullest potential. And prosper means flourish. Okay. Some people have asked, you can put videos in Tamil also. I have tried it, but it is not coming up well. If you have any doubts, please comment in the comment box. I am really ready to explain and clarify your doubts. And my language also, it's not very hi-fi language. I am using very simple language, and then and there I am translating everything. Still, if you have any doubts, please ask me in the comment box. Okay, moving on to the next point. Scientific selection of workers and the work assigned to them should suit their physical, mental and intellectual capabilities, which means certain works when we assign to a particular employee, he should be capable of doing that particular task, and mentally, physically he should be ready. So suitable person to be in the right job, that means right person for the right job. And the next point, development of workers require training at the workplace. Why it is required? Why the training to be given in the workplace? Is it waste of money for the management? Definitely not. To keep them updated. So it's very important to be updated in the organization. So that is fully fit according to the needs of new methods of working, which may be different from non-scientific methods. So then and there the employees should be updated according to the need of the organization. So in a workplace, arranging workshops, trainings are very mandatory for any organization. I hope you would have understood the Taylor scientific principles of management. With this, we will end up this session. I'll meet you in the next class. Till then, it's bye from Udaya.